we have seen a situation here in which the full details as to the extent of the transmission of COVID here is not well known. And I think the result of the 166 tests will tell us how far this thing has been spread. And again, as I said, from our indication, it's going back to the person from last week, Saturday, who would have had an exposure to a number of individuals, maybe inadvertently. And again, I just want to say in passing, and this is not directed to anyone, that, complacency, indiscipline, and if you have any form of sexual promiscuity, is a lethal combination that could result in community spread. And again, the latter statement is not directed at anyone or any group of individuals. I'm just stating here that it's a very lethal combination that could result in community spread. And I hope it will be an example for all of us, especially those involved with those frivolous parties. We hear about them from time to time. People are having these social engagements. We have said to our people ad nauseum that any social engagement should be among your members of your household only, not even family members per se, but members of your household, so that you could probably manage the risk. But people continue to violate the health protocols and to put themselves, their family members, and the rest of the population at risk. Now, they also have to understand, too, that this type of irresponsible behavior is also creating or could create a reputational damage for the country. I mean, Antigua and Barbuda at this point is known to be a safe destination, a destination that has been successful in the management of COVID, to the extent that we have developed this nomad residency program for high net worth and knowledge workers, inviting them to come to Antigua and Barbuda to work in a very safe environment. And then, if you're going to have irresponsible people, who would violate the protocols, contract COVID, and then spread it, then clearly they're going to create a fundamental problem for the entire country. Not only a health problem for themselves, their family members and friends, but also a major economic problem for the country because, as I said before, there are public departments and private businesses that have been affected as a result of the recent domestic spread. And when people have to close their offices, I know a particular lawyer, for example, a couple of her staff members have been exposed. Those members are now at home quarantining, and it is expected that lawyer has to provide, the pay, the remuneration for these individuals who will not produce anything for the next 2 weeks. Just imagine, too, the impact on the gym that had to close after the contact tracing would have traced back, some engagement of one of the individuals at that gym and the potential for spread among other members. And I also want to say to those who involve in these gyms as well, those who patronize these gyms, that they have to be super careful because it may be one of the areas in which COVID could spread inadvertently. Now, we do encourage people to, of course, build some level of health resilience through good diet and exercise. But within that gym environment, we also want individuals to be very vigilant, especially maybe when you're on a treadmill, for example, and someone is running beside you and so on. I don't know what the situation is, if those treadmills are properly spaced, but those are issues that now have to be taken into consideration. I think that the gyms now represent a level of risk that we have to manage a little better.